Surprise! Hey everybody, it's John Hope Bryant, founder, chairman, and chief executive officer of Operation Hope, author of How the Poor Can Save Capitalism, which if you haven't read it, you should. It's a primer for how anybody can succeed. When you sign on, I gave you no notice this morning. I'm at the airport with my man Webster, who owns a car service here in Atlanta. It's my good friend. Say hello, Webster.
Hello, everyone.
It's a good man, father, husband, entrepreneur, small business owner. Always consistent. Whenever I know to come out of my house to go to the airport, he's always there, except for once. He also takes care of me and takes care of Ambassador Andrew Young. Good man. I'll just give a minority-owned business some business. You're signing in. Again, you didn't know I was going to do this. I've got a few minutes before my airplane flight, but I wanted to tell you about this $50 million mop. Really, this idea that made this lady $50 million. A simple kitchen mop. Her name is Joy. Okay, so just finishing my introduction. John Hope Bryant, CEO of Operation Hope, CEO of Bryant Group Ventures, and author of How the Poor Can Save Capitalism and Love Leadership, the New Way Leading a Fear-Based World. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a businessman, I'm a philanthropic investor. I'm heading to Nashville to give a speech for a friend of mine, Brian Jordan at First Tennessee Bank, and to underscore our hope inside we have there to spur entrepreneurs and small business owners. I'm going to do one more video, hopefully when I land in Nashville, that's really touching in my heart. But this one is inspirational, okay? So this lady Joy, everybody needs to go watch this. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Sterling and Downey and Prince. Yes, the Kitchen Mop Prince. Oscar, good morning. Shout out from South Africa. I see everybody sort of signing on. Yes, a kitchen mop, right? So this lady, first of all, everybody needs to watch this movie called Joy. Go rent it. Natasha and I, my wife and I, we watched it, and our dog Bishop. We watched the movie Joy last night. And I didn't expect much of it. I didn't know what to expect, but I was pleasantly surprised. Go watch this movie. It's really inspirational. You can hear the airport noise behind me. Sorry about that. So in short, this young lady is told she's like the pillar of her family. Young girl in rural America from a small town. Nobody expects much of her but her grandmother. Her mother watches TV all day. Her ex-husband lives in the basement. Her father, who sort of helps her out with the mortgage a little bit and runs a business, not very well, he lives in the basement and curses out his ex-wife in front of the little girl, the granddaughter, which is not smart at all, and he doesn't think there's anything wrong with it as he's traumatizing her. You've got 2 or 3 other bum family members. I hate to say it that way, but that's the case. A half-sister who's player-hating Joy most of the time. But Joy has this grandmother who says, you can do anything you want to do. You're going to grow up to be an amazing young lady. She keeps pounding that in Joy's head. I want you to, and Joy is a designer. She's as a little girl, she creates these little paper mache designs like she's going to be a fashion designer. And the mother says, the grandmother says, you're going to grow up to make those things. Just watch what I say. So to make a long story short, Joy has a tough, first 30 years of her life are just tough, and she's like, grandma, I don't know where you're getting this I dream from, and grandma just keeps pounding her head. She works for TSA, she works for she works at the airport, she works for she has a couple of underwhelming jobs. People don't appreciate her, and she's out on a boat, it's a long story, with her father, with a date. They drop some wine on the deck. Who gets drops to the floor to try to clean it up? Joy. She's always doing everything for everybody. Everybody's always asking her to do everything for them. It's a whole other story, the sense of presumption and assumption, assuming people your servant. So she drops to her knees and she cleans this stuff up. She cuts her hand. So she says, there's got to be a better way of doing this. So she comes up with an idea. It's a mop that extends and retracts, and you can take the head off and put the head in the washer and dryer without putting all those germs in your sink. And she also made enough threads in the mop to be super absorbent, so to clean up things like 2 or 3 rooms at one time. Anyway, you can watch the movie. I'm not going to tell you. You probably even know what the creation is, by the way. So she goes around, tries to sell it to Kmart. They won't buy it. She tries to sell it in the Kmart's parking lot. They arrest her. She tries to sell it to the local store she's giving business to. They say no to her. She's got rejection. Remember I told you before about my biggest trait was persistence? Rejection. An entrepreneur works 18 hours a day to keep from getting a job. An entrepreneur takes no for vitamins. An entrepreneur, basically has redefined success as going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. That's what an entrepreneur is. But by the way, even if you're going to not be an entrepreneur, you need to have an entrepreneurial mindset. Just a can-do, over it, around it, through it, I'm going to get to it mindset, right? That's the mindset you need to have. It's a winner's mindset. That's why I keep trying to tell people stop being negative, because you cannot have a winner's mindset when you've already decided to be negative. And no one wants to be around your negative rear end. Even you don't want to be around you. You certainly can't be creative, and you can't do what Joy did if you already decided that the world is fixed and you can't succeed. So, I mean, the thing that keeps Joy going is belief in herself, right? And I guess wanting to do something for her granddaughter. So I got to get through this story quickly. So Joy finally decides to go big. Her ex-husband, who everybody wrote off as a bum, because God, you never know who God's going to speak to you, says, let me introduce you to a friend of mine who's got this thing, they're selling stuff on TV. This is well before home shopping was the vogue. Anyway, he introduced her to the guy who ran Kmart, who left Kmart to go to QVC. You guys remember QVC? Barry Diller, I think, was the owner of QVC. And the guy QVC originally reconnecting. So welcome to the airport, reconnecting. So the guy who ran QVC initially rejected her, and then she says, "Look, come here, let me show you how this works." So he walks her into the kitchen, and she puts stuff on the ground, and he shows her. He says, "Look, I know, I'm a woman. I know what a real mop is, right?" Anyway, he says, "Can you produce 50,000 of these by next week?" Yes. She goes, mortgages her house, gets a loan from her father's boyfriend, father's girlfriend, who's really a piece of work. God used her too, and nothing sells. So that whole week they put it up on QVC. The guy, I think, that they put him up to sell it, I think, undermined her. Nothing sells, and she's bankrupt. She storms into QVC. It's not storms. It walks in, demands an audience with this CEO guy, and says, "Look, let me sell it." And he said, "No, only celebrities sell it." "No, look, let me sell it. I sold you." Long story short, she sold 50,000 units that first week. Never, ever, 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 ever give up. So I gotta catch the plane, so I don't have time for the long story. I don't want to blow the movie. But by the way, look this lady up. Joy. Just put Joy, mop, and it'll come up on the internet. So she sells these units. Then she's got this manufacturer who's trying to take her for a ride. Everybody thinks because she's a woman, she's not a good entrepreneur. And nobody believes in her. Her sister's trying to undermine her. Her dad sort of believes in her, not really. The lady who financed her is waiting for her to fail, says you're not a businesswoman. Heck, she wasn't a businesswoman either. She got the money given to her because her husband had died. So the only one person who's really an entrepreneur is this Joy woman who... So Joy's getting robbed, and basically after 500,000 units of this mop being sold, she's about to go bankrupt. And the manufacturer's trying to hold her hostage. She then flies to LA, meets with the manufacturer, then flies to Texas and meets with the guy who's really the guy. And I mean, one of the best scenes I've ever seen in a movie, does a really cool, smooth, you ain't taking me for a ride deal with this really down-home Texan who ends up writing her a check for $100,000 to go away. She gets her patents back. Make a long story short, Joy ends up tearing up the bankruptcy documents. She had signed them. She tears them up. She takes her company back. She wins. She makes $50 million, more than that. She's worth $50 million. She then hooks up young ladies and women and entrepreneurs who came from places like she came from with ideas to become entrepreneurs and create jobs and create freedom for themselves. This is a true story. This is not like made up. She's still working, by the way. QVC was bought by a home shopping network. She still works there. They bought her company. She still works there because she still wants to get up every day and do something. She's still inspiring people. And women and girls, you can do anything. Only in America can you get up as a little rural poor girl, and this was a Caucasian girl. I keep telling you guys, there's more poor whites in America than poor anybody else. And with nobody believing in you, only in America can you then go take an idea, turn it into a patent. A patent is nothing more than a monetized idea, and turn that patent into cash flow, revenue, and wealth, and opportunity to take care of your family. Joy, by the way, continue to take care of her family, even though her family didn't take care of her. And there's a special place in hell, in hell reserved for people who take advantage of a woman like that. A special place in heaven for a woman who takes care of people who are not taking care of her. She's focused on what she gave, not what she got. I'm sure the movie's a little dramatized a little bit, but the story's real. I want you to watch it. She made $50 million in wealth from nothing. Just from an idea of a, what should I just talk about this? It wasn't like some high-tech thing. It was. It just went. So you can tell. So think about it. Was it a simple idea or a complicated idea?
Simple, something simple.
Yeah, and you make a living, right, Webster? Mm-hmm. Yeah, with a simple idea. What is it? It's a car service, right?
Yes, car service.
And it's nothing. No rocket science about it, right?
Nope.
Is any racism?
Nope.
Any discrimination?
Nope.
Is the Klan on you every week?
Nope.
Is there somebody oppressors got their foot on your back?
Not at all.
You just get up every day and hustle, right?
Get out there and hustle and get it.
And I got to pay my bill. Okay, on that point, I got to go. All right, bye. Love and light.